Welcome to video number 4 of the Shoot for the Moon Backlinks Challenge video series. I'm Matt LeClaire. If you've been doing the homework at the end of every video, you're getting closer than ever to earning a backlink from the biggest authority in your industry, your golden prospect. In this video, I'm going to share just a few things that you can do to your site in order to get it ready when it comes time to ask your golden prospect to link over to your website. These tweaks are going to be easy for you to implement. They're going to make sense to you. I hope they will, at least after I explain them to you on why they should be on your site. And I'm going to tell you a few things that shouldn't be on your site too. So there's a lot to go over in this video, and we got to get to it because I'm looking forward to the next video where we start digging in and actually start creating the content we need to make this challenge a success. If you're new to the series, I recommend that you click the link at the bottom of this video to start at the very beginning. That way you'll get more from your efforts if you do. It's also important to complete the homework section at the end of every video if you're participating in the challenge. Why? I want you to earn a backlink from the biggest person in your industry, your golden prospect. In the last video, we spent almost the entire video going over why it's important that you establish yourself as an authority in your industry. The benefits to your business, if you pull that off, is going to be huge. There's also things you can do to your website that will help magnify the authority that you have in your industry. There's also things you can do that will subtract from your authority that you've already established in the industry. Most of the websites I built early on in my career were not teaching websites. Instead, they were pages that I filled with my sales pitches, my sales letters, stock image photos, sales buttons, you name it. I loaded those sites down with those sales mechanisms, which was a mistake. Well, it was a stupid mistake. Did it make money? Yes, it made money. But I could have made even more money had I done it right. What was my mistake? People don't recognize marketers and vendors as authorities worth listening to. If you portray yourself as a vendor or a marketer, you're going to get a lot of your visitors tuning you out as soon as they hit your page. They'll bounce right off your page and go on with their merry way. And I didn't care at the time because I was getting conversions. I could have been getting a lot better conversions had I taken the time to actually try to teach people instead of just sell them. And that's something you have to ask yourself right now. Is your website dedicated to teaching? Or is it dedicated to selling? There's a big difference between the two. The kind of site that I recommend you create is a teaching website. What can you do to turn your website into a teaching website? Well, first let me state that most SEO campaigns fail because the site owner never establishes their authority in the campaign or on their website. Instead, they focus on high PR shenanigans and technical SEO and on-page optimization. Well, those tactics do work at times, but they won't establish your authority on your website. You might get to number 1 for your keywords, but if you're not coming across as an authority on your website, it won't matter. Why? Your site won't convert well. As soon as the visitor hits your page, they'll start filtering your attempts to reach them. They do this for self-preservation. The average person sees over 5,000 ads a day. Your site visitors are getting hammered with that many ads as well. So when they hit your site, if it's not set up as a teaching website, there's a good chance that they're not even going to see it because they're just going to filter it and go on with their day and back out and go to the next website. You want to test this theory? Let's do it. Try paying attention to the first 25 ads you start seeing from the second your eyes open up tomorrow morning. Do your best to understand their offers and how those offers are going to benefit you. Do this even if your first inkling is that the ad has nothing to do with you whatsoever. I bet you can't do it. The filter in your brain and the filter in my brain just won't allow it. The human brain, being the beautiful piece of machinery that it is, protects itself from sensory overload. So chances are you won't even see the first 25 ads your eyes come across tomorrow morning. Seriously. If you're not portraying yourself as a teacher on your website, you're smoked. Why? Your visitors will consider your entire website an advertisement. Invisible websites, they don't earn all that much revenue, I'm afraid to say. If your site's ranking number 1 on Google and you haven't established your authority on your website, you may be earning revenue. You most likely are earning revenue with that ranking. But don't mistake Google welfare for prosperity, though. Once when I was a child, I caught fish with an empty hook. I had run out of worms but wanted to keep fishing. So I used an empty hook as my bait, and all the adults laughed at me when I did it, but they stopped laughing as soon as I started catching fish. Don't ask me how I did it either. I don't have a clue how it worked. All I know is I caught fish on my grandma's dock when I was 7 years old using nothing but a bare hook. Now, had I had bait on the hook, I'm sure I would have caught even more fish. When your site's ranking on top of Google for your keywords, but you don't have your site optimized in a way that establishes your authority in the industry, you're going to have a hard time making conversions the way you would like, because you're going to be fishing with an empty hook. Back in the day, Clark Kent had to find a phone booth before he could transform himself into Superman. When he found one, poof! The mild-mannered, often disrespected reporter turned into the Man of Steel. Talk about an instant authority builder. I'm not sure what Superman uses in the era of mobile phones. I'm sure he's managing fine somehow. But what about you? Are you ready to create your instant authority builder? No, you don't need to be from the planet Krypton, and I promise this transformation will not involve any levels of gamma rays. All you need is a website that establishes your authority. Since you're not Superman or Superwoman, you'll need to fulfill the role as a teacher on your site if you want your visitors, i.e. students, to think of you as an authority when they hit your site. Establishing your authority on your website accomplishes 3 important things for your business. First of all, it makes your site visitors engage more with your site and with you and with your brand. That's a big thing. Secondly, it attracts more backlinks to your site and more people will share it on social media, which of course is going to generate more traffic and again, maybe even some sales for your business. And third, it's going to help your search engine rankings improve because increased backlinks and improved user engagement metrics play a huge role in Google rankings. Did you know it's easier to convince people to buy from you when they view you as their teacher? Most people are like welders. We go through life with a shield in front of our eyes. We wear that shield to protect our brains from unwanted stimuli. The welder wears it to protect his eyes from intense ultraviolet and infrared rays. The rest of us wear our welder's mask to protect our time and our brain from things we have no interest in whatsoever. Imagine you're in a dark room with no lights. A flashlight beam clicks on and illuminates a pencil sharpener on the wall. Then another beam appears and that lights up a chalkboard on the other side of the room. Then yet another beam kicks on and it illuminates a huge desk in front of the chalkboard. Where are you? Yeah, in a classroom. Now, had I asked you to imagine that you were in a room with a pencil sharpener on a wall, chalkboard, and a desk in front of that chalkboard, you would have guessed it much faster. In fact, it would have been immediate. That's how fast the human brain deciphers words and sounds into thoughts. Once those thoughts are triggered, appropriate filters are turned either on or off. Now, here's the most important question of this video that I really would like you to answer to the best of your ability. How much would it benefit your business if prospects flip their filters off when they hit your website instead of flipping them on? We all have filters that we employ to protect ourselves from ad speak, from unwanted stimuli. If your site is set up in a way that triggers your visitors to believe that your site is unwanted stimuli, they're going to treat it as unwanted stimuli. And if you can get to the point where the second a visitor hits your site, they turn their filters off, I have to imagine that's going to be pretty big for your business. So with that in mind, let's talk about 8 tweaks you can make to help get your website in order to be able to be in a position to earn a backlink from your golden prospect. All right, tweak number 1 you can make to your site is to quit being camera shy on your website. Use real pictures of yourself throughout your website and the tutorials you create as part of this challenge. Students need to see their teacher to bond with them. If you hide behind stock images like I did for years, it's not going to advance your status as a teacher or an authority. Look, I get why you might not want to put a picture up of yourself online. I get that. I really do. I never wanted to, and I still don't like doing it. But I'm not shy about putting my photo up these days. I don't know. I think it makes my tutorials a lot more relatable. So if you're camera shy, I suggest you quit being camera shy. Get a photo of yourself, put it on your website, get a lot of photos of yourself, put it all through your website. Give your site visitors a face to bond with. And as they read your content, that's going to make a big difference with whether or not they view you as an authority worth listening to. Tweak number 2 goes along with not being camera shy. Stop being afraid to share pictures of your family on your website. Now, when a prospect visits your site, you have a very short period of time to convince them that your site can be of use to them. One way to do that is to be real. Having pictures of your family on your site is an excellent way to prove that you're real. How many merchants with sketchy offers post pictures of their family on their website? I'm guessing not too many. So I try to put pictures of my kids up every once in a while on the website. They like it when their pictures make the website. Don't be afraid to put personal pictures of yourself and your family on your website. It's going to help your visitors relate to you more and be able to bond with you as a teacher as they read your content. You want your prospects to figure out who you are on their own without you telling them. The way to do that is with real pictures. It just makes kind of sense to me. It didn't for a long time because I used stock images for a very long time. All right, tweak number 3. Admitting your bonehead mistakes. Do you admit making mistakes on your site content, or do you gloss over them and hide your imperfections? Remember, your students are looking for someone to bond with who can help them in a way that's real. A quick way to broadcast that you're live flesh and bones is to admit to some of your past mistakes you've made. When you do, it'll paint a more defined picture for your students on who their teacher is. And pretending to be perfect squashes authority and integrity faster than anything else. So don't pretend to be perfect. Admit you make mistakes. Use your mistakes as material in the tutorials you make to teach your students. It will help them understand things better. Tweak number 4. Write all your content at a 5th grade reading level. The more readable your content is, the more your readers are going to be able to consume it. So the simpler you write, the better. It's not that the people visiting your website can't read well. They're just in a hurry. Writing at a 5th grade level makes it easier for your readers to speed through your content. A free tool that you can use to help you with that is HemingwayApp.com. I've been using that editor for a year now, and the moment I started using it, the engagement metrics on my content that I created spiked. Tweak number 5. Follow the no bragging allowed rule for teachers. What's the problem with a little bragging? Simple. No one ever believes you when you do it. Plus, it's ugly. The idea is to use your website as a tool that transforms you into an authority in your niche. Authorities don't brag. Why? They don't have to. So look over your entire website for anything that your prospects might take as bragging, and then cut it. All your prospects want are solutions to their problems. That's why building a teaching website for them to find those solutions just makes sense. All right, what else can you do to tweak your website? Don't feed your students fluff content. If your content sucks, your website sucks. You know that. But what's fluff content? To me, it's any content that doesn't help your student in some significant way. Does your content teach your site visitors how to grow tomatoes? Or just that growing tomatoes is cool? Lots of people want to learn how to grow vegetables. Not too many care that you happen to think growing vegetables is cool. So write content that helps your students solve problems. They'll love you for it if you do. Tweak number 7. Post on your blog twice a week or even more. If you're not in class, your students won't have any reasons to stay there or come back again. Instead, they're going to wander off to another teacher in your niche who is there for them on a consistent basis. If you don't have a blog yet, get one. It's going to be near impossible to convert your website into a teaching website without having a blog. So post on your blog more than twice a week. Now let's talk about those funky colors you have on your website. Tweak number 8. Use NFL team color combinations on your teaching website. An easy way to choose color combinations for your site is to copy the NFL. NFL teams spend millions researching which color combinations appeal the most to their fans. They spend that amount of money because they make even more money selling jerseys and their apparel. So if the colors on those jerseys or on the hats or in the t-shirts aren't pleasing to the eye, well then there's not going to be a lot of people buy those jerseys. So they do whatever they can to make sure the colors they put on their jerseys are appealing to the eye because they love selling jerseys. To get the color codes of just about every professional team in the world, check out Team Colors. Then make sure the only colors you use on your website matches the team you're copying. In case you're wondering, we chose to copy the Miami Dolphins colors on our site. Did you really think we came up with that orange all on our own? Nope, it's the Dolphins colors. End of video 4. What's next? As always, if you have some additional tips that you'd like to share on how to establish a website into a teaching website, I want to hear about them. Just post them below in the comment section. And if I like them, you know what? I'll add them to the tutorial. I'm always looking to make my content better. Why? Because I want it to help as many people as possible. All right, let's talk about homework. Number 1, look over your website. Make sure you're not bragging about yourself or your business or your accomplishments anywhere on it. If you do find some bragging, cut it. Get rid of it. Number 2, go through your website again and make sure that your color combinations look good. If you always wondered if you were using the right accent colors or the right secondary colors, I suggest you go to the NFL color codes, find an NFL team that you like the colors to, use all their colors. It won't take long to switch your site over and get your colors switched over to something that is pleasing to the eye. Colors are important. It's, as far as creating content, to me it seems like it shouldn't matter what color your font is or your headlines if you have great content. But it matters. It matters. All right, what else are you going to do in your homework? Go through and check out the content on your site. Use the Hemingway app and find out what grade reading level your site's rated at. Anything above a 5th grade, I suggest you rewrite until it is at 5th grade. It'll make your content just pop out and stick into your prospects' minds if you do. They'll skip over less of it, and it'll be easy for them to consume everything that you're teaching them. So 5th grade reading level. All right. Then go through your existing content and look for instances in which you can share a mistake you've made in the past. Make sure this mistake, though, fits in at a place that adds depth to the content. So the mistake has to be relevant to the content you're placing it in. Otherwise, share a different mistake. I guess what I'm saying is go and interject some humility in just one piece of your content. Watch what it does to it. It just will add a lot of depth to it. All right, after that, look over your content again for places where it'll be appropriate for you to place a picture of yourself or your family. Just one place. Now, the more relevant photos you have of you and your family up on the site, the better off you're going to be, because it's going to make it a lot easier for your students to be able to relate to you and bond with you. That's why I really suggest you stay away from stock images. You have a smartphone. There's no doubt you have a smartphone with a good camera, and it doesn't take any time at all to take great pictures. You can have that be the images you use on your website, images you take with your own camera. That's it, guys. In the next video, we're going to get into creating the content you need to earn the backlink from the biggest authority in your industry, your golden prospect. Content creation is awesome, fun stuff. I love doing it, and the way I create content, I think you're going to enjoy, because it's easy to follow, duplicatable, and will be something that you will be able to employ again and again, either yourself or somebody on your staff. You could have them follow the instructions that I share in this next video, because it will teach you how to create great content. So you're not going to want to miss the next video. Thanks, and guess what? I'll see you there.